Hello, YouTube. It is me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to another Floppy Woppy movie month. And this time we're talking about a Kenneth Branagh movie that came out in 2014. He did this after Thor in 2011, and it is the fourth of the, I think the fourth or the fifth Jack Ryan movie, Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit. Yes, starring Chris Pine. This movie was a bomb. It made only like $50 million in the U.S. and the budget was 60 million. So yeah, that's a flop, guys. It also wasn't well received by critics either. It got a 56%, which is like average, just below average. And this movie could have been good, but there are plenty of problems, which is why I'm not a fan of this movie. It doesn't anger me too much. I just is very forgettable. This is the consensus. It doesn't reinvent the action thriller wheel, but Jack Ryan offers a sleek, reasonably diverting reboot for a long dormant franchise. Yes, but there's a reason why the last movie in this franchise before the Amazon Prime show that John Krasinski does, which has nothing to do with this movie. The last movie before this one was the Sum of All Fears with Ben Affleck. Yeah, and the thing is that it's very underwhelming. Like the and Chris Pine is not the problem with this movie. It's not. The thing is, Brana just doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to the. He has to be the villain, and he's like Russian, and he also doesn't know how to cast, supporting cast here because you have Chris Pine, Kevin Costner, who is always good. Brana's the villain, and you have Keira Knightley. If you've seen my videos for years, you know how I feel about her. She does absolutely nothing for me. Is she loud and obnoxious here, like in the Pirates movies? No, but she's so underwhelmed in this movie. She has, I swear, this is the look on her face the whole movie. Like, what do I have to do? Why am I here? Like, she has this weird look on her face, like Brana didn't know what to give her direction, and she looks completely lost in the movie. If you've seen this movie, Josh, Tevya, Parker, and the rest of you guys, that's her whole look in the whole movie. Like, she has no chemistry with Chris Pine. She looks completely lost. She can't do an action scene to save her life, and she's just awful in the movie. Let me read the synopsis. It might be a little dark, but let me read it. After the 9/11 attacks, which was horrifying, which is coming up soon in September, Jack Ryan, studying at the LSE London School of Economics, becomes a U.S. Marine second lieutenant fighting in Afghanistan, where his spine is severely injured when the helicopter is shot down. Riddle me this, Batman. If he busted his spine severely, how was he able to walk in the movie? Yeah, it's called logic. Write better, writers. You can do better than that. If someone has a spinal cord injury, they should be a freaking Charles Xavier in a wheelchair. They shouldn't be able to do flips and things. I mean, this film is so bad that it's just like, why was it even made? And yes, I know it was dedicated to the writer of the books, Tom Clancy, right? Yeah, he's dearly missed. But this movie is god awful. Like, if he had seen this movie, he would have been so underwhelmed by it. It's written by Adam Kozad and David Coop. Yeah, Coop, the dialogue you gave Rana and the writing you gave to Keira Knightley, like, she has no idea what she's doing. Adam Kozad did the Legend of Tarzan, which is that bad reboot that flopped with Alexander Skarsgård and Margot Robbie as Jane. Underwater, which I never heard of, and it's coming out next year. Who's in Underwater? Screenplay. Kristen Stewart, who is the worst actress in the freaking world. And get this, DC fans. Yeah, Tevya, Josh, guess what he's writing next? Suicide Squad 2. Fuck you, Adam. You are the worst one of the worst writers in this decade. Yeah, Coop has done some good things. I like the Spider-Man movies the first Spider-Man movie he wrote. There's some dialogue that's wonky, but for the time, it was light and fun. This is painfully forgettable. I don't even know why Coop. And it's also the same Skydance Media. I think that's the same studio that funds some of the movies that J.J. Abrams has done. But I'm not going to get into that because you know how much I hate that guy. He didn't do this movie. And like I said, this movie, the logic makes so freaking sense. Yeah, it says during a lengthy recovery. Yeah, unless they fused his body with metal in his spine, there's no way he could walk again. He attracts the attention of Kathy Muller. That's KK, a medical student helping him learn to walk again. Again, guys, if it was severely injured, he would be freaking paralyzed. But since it's a movie, you got to get let logic throw it out the window sometime. But it still doesn't make any freaking sense. Then Thomas Harper, Kevin Costner, an official with the CIA who recruits him. 10 years later, Ryan is working on Wall Street company, blah blah blah. And when the Russian Federation loses a key vote before the United Nations, and the markets do not respond, blah blah blah. And Russian tycoon, yeah, the majority of the funds are controlled by Russian tycoon Viktor Cherevin. That's Kenneth Branagh. And I've said this many times. Branagh should stick to directing because he's not an actor. If you've seen Wild Wild West, he's over the top in that. He's a cartoon, and he does a southern accent like this. Yeah, fuck you. My friend Josh has a better southern accent than you, Branagh, and he's a Brit. He's a good director because I love the first Thor movie. That's a really good movie. He knows how to get Shakespearean performances from those actors. Anthony Hopkins, Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, but this is just horrible. Like, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Yeah, Ryan employers conducts business with Sheridan, so when Ryan finds certain accounts inaccessible, this movie, you know what this movie felt like, guys, and I think you would agree with me. It feels like a diet version of the Jason Bourne movies. I know this is more of a spy film, like Mission Impossible, but it felt like a diet version of Bourne Legacy or Bold Ultimatum, Bourne Ultimatum or Bourne Supremacy. It's a diet Bourne film, and Chris Pine is not the problem here. I keep saying that because some people hate him because he did Star Trek, and I'm like, again, if freaking J.J. Abrams didn't cast him and he casted Bayenga, that movie would have bombed because Bayenga and freaking Vanessa Kirby, they're like box office poison now. But yeah, Pine is trying his best. He's trying his best with the action scenes. He's a decent Jack Ryan for what he has to do. I mean, he has to follow in the footsteps of freaking Ben Affleck and Harrison Ford and freaking Alec Baldwin. And this is before John Krasinski got the role. So I heard that show's good. It's got to be better than this movie. This movie's very underwhelming. The action is okay, but it's shot well. Branagh knows what he's doing with the directing, but it's just very forgettable. See, it says here, yeah, San Francisco Chronicle, Peter Hullub said Pine is a convincing as a character who's pushing papers one day and dodging assassins in Moscow the next. Yeah, he is a convincing lead, but he has nothing to work with. He's got shitty writing from this guy that can't write, Adam, whatever the hell his name is. What is it? Adam Kozad. I never heard of him. And he has Keira Knightley, who he has no chemistry with, and she has a worse American actor accent I've ever heard in my life. She just looks confused. She looks like this. Like, why am I here? I swear, there's a scene with her and Brana in the car, and he's talking to her, and she looks completely confused. Like, I'm like, Kira, do you even know what freaking movie you're in? Seriously. And it's not that the movie upsets me in my stomach. It wasn't like Venom, but it's just so forgettable. I don't remember a thing from this movie. I would have to watch it again to see what's going on because I don't know what happened with this movie. And no wonder it was like 7 or 8 years after whatchamacallit, the last one. Some of Our Fears was like 2002, right? So no, it was more than 10 years later. And yeah, I could see it. I noticed. It says it has no personality of its own. Absolutely, Peter Travers. I agree with you on that because I don't know what the movie is like. It's like a diet version of Jason Bourne, and it's underwhelming. It's a product constructed out of spare parts and assembled with computerized precision. Yeah, the CG is okay here, but it's nothing special. This came out the same year as Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America: Winter Soldier, movies that knew what they were. They didn't try to be some political bullshit movie. Yeah, Winter Soldier has some political intrigue, but it's a political spy thriller in a way. And it knows what it is, and it's a great freaking sequel. This is just an underwhelming sequel. Yeah, it says the film benefits from an attractive cast, but perennial allure of the game and the exoticism of the contemporary Moscow setting. The biggest problem afflicting this modest diversion is that it's the sort of film which computers get to the bottom of every problem. Exactly. This isn't freaking Live Free or Die Hard. Tevya and Josh and Jaquez, you can agree with me. That's a better movie than this. That's a PG-13 like this. That's a fun movie. That has a plot that makes sense. John McClane kicks ass. The action is way better, and it's not underwhelming. We waited over a decade for that after Die Hard with a Vengeance, which is a great freaking movie, and it paid off. This is easily the worst Jack Ryan movie I've seen. I've seen them all. I saw the two with Harrison Ford. I saw the one with what's his face, Alec Baldwin. Hunt for Red October, and I've seen the one with Ben Affleck. This is the worst. Nothing happens. It's an hour and 45 minutes. It feels like they cut a lot out. It looks good. It's a good looking film, but it has no plot. It has no momentum. It falls flat within the first 10, 15 minutes. And again, if people say that it's Chris Pine's fault, it's not his fault, guys. He was trying to do something different after Star Trek, but this just wasn't it. It just Brana. His directing couldn't save the horrible writing. David Coop, what else did he write? I know he wrote Jurassic Park. What did he recently write? You Should Have Left. I never heard of that. And he also was one of the writers from The Mummy, the 2017 movie. Yeah. And he did Mordecai. No, he directed Mordecai. Oh my God. That Johnny Depp movie with the shitty accents. He also wrote Inferno, which I know Josh was not a fan of. Felicity Jones. Oh, she's the villain? Yeah, I didn't see that coming with her dead eyes. No, that's too much expressions. That's her. No expression on her face. In the poster, her and Tom Hanks are holding hands, and she has no expression. She says, "Yeah, that's it." At least Keira Knightley, I could say this: she's horrible in this, but she's just lost. At least she has expression on her face. It's just a really weird expression. It's like I don't know where I am. So that's the movie, guys. Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit. Yeah, and it's horribly written. Like if you were expecting this movie to be a fun ride, you might have some fun with the action, but the plot is very forgettable. The acting is very forgettable, and Brana as the villain doesn't work. Chris Pine is trying to hold this movie together. He's the only thing in the movie that I liked, and the fact that this only made $130 million worldwide, that's kind of a profit, but it's still flopped in the U.S. because it was supposed to make like another 100 million uh, domestically, and or at least like 200 million to be considered a huge hit. When did this come out? What month? Was pushed back for? Yeah, it came out in January. Yeah, in freaking January. The month that usually they dump bullshit like this all the time, like the Taken sequels. Well, Taken 3 anyway. The film was released later in VOD for home video. It was released on Blu-ray in June of that year. Yeah, again, guys, there were better movies than this. Much better. And look at this poster. This is one of the most generic looking posters I've ever seen. Look at that. Chris Pine looks like he doesn't want to be there. Kevin Costner has blonde hair for some reason, like he's freaking Duke Nukem. And Keira Knightley, this is her face in the whole movie, guys. Just, where am I? This is in England. Where am I? That's her the whole freaking movie. It's like Emilia Clarke if she was lost in a movie. But anyway, guys, that's enough of me talking about this movie. It sucks. What rating did it get on Rotten Tomatoes? It got a 55%. This could have been good if it was in the hands of a better writer. The audiences didn't like it either. Look at that. 53%. That's half and half. Freaking, the Dora movie got a better reaction than that. Yeah, the Dora movie, the one that just came out last week, that got like an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics, so they actually liked it. This, everybody forgot about this movie. It could have been a guilty pleasure, but it's boring and uneventful and so underwhelming. Just like the last Bourne movie that came out, Jason Bourne. Stop making these action movies boring and badly edited and badly casted and tons of bad edits, or you're shaking the camera, or you have a director that doesn't know what kind of genre he's doing. With Thor, Brana nailed it. With this movie, he didn't. Sorry. This is a thumbs down for me. It deserved to flop, and I'm glad that they did a TV series, which can work. I'm probably going to watch it. Can't be any worse than this movie, because Krasinski, I do like him as an actor. He's proven himself in the past. He even did good voice work in the third Shrek movie. I wouldn't mind if he was Mr. Fantastic. Maybe. With him and Emily Blunt, no, that would just be nepotism. You don't have to have a married couple in a movie just to have a married couple in the movie, just because they're together for real. I wouldn't mind to see him in a DC or a Marvel movie. He's a good actor, and I bet that show is a lot better than this because this is forgettable. Jack Ryan is like Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible. He's not supposed to be forgettable. He's a good character, good, well written character. And Pine tries the best he could, but it just doesn't save this movie. Fuck this movie for underwhelming me. But anyway, that's my review for Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit. It's easily the worst of the five that have been made. If they ever do another film in the next decade, respect Tom Clancy's freaking novels, guys. Do it right. Make the action flow. Have an actress that looks like she doesn't that she's freaking like she's high on drugs or something that she doesn't know where she is. Just do it better. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next review.